Good evening, SBC. Good evening, SBCC. Good evening, BSL. Good evening to everyone, north, south, east, west, in between, perpendicular, and everywhere else. This is the August 9th, 2002 edition of SBC Tuesday Talk. And I am your host and head cook and van driver, Mr. Mike Walker. Glad to have y'all here with us this Tuesday evening. We were supposed to be here last week, but Jefferson County came and picked me up, so it put me in the county for 24 hours. We couldn't do it though, so I'm out. And thank y'all to those who, you know what? Thank you to those who are putting money on my books so I can eat during those 24 hours. Thank y'all so much. We need to hurry up and get started because Les ain't doing right. So thank y'all so much though for being here. Let me hurry up with these salutations, boy. We can't even start good. Okay, here you go. Andrea, good to have you here. Andrea. Sherry from Houston, always a pleasure to have you here. Jenna from the ATL, good to have you here. Good evening. Marcus, good Taco Tuesday. Oh, well, tacos do sound pretty good right now, I think. Lorraine Robinson, good to have. Is this your first time here? I think. I don't know. Maybe a second. Glad to have you here. Sean Johnson, good to have you here. Uh, Brother Reginald, always a pleasure to have you here. Ooh, Sister Foster, always great to have you watching us here today. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Joyce Sutton, good to have you here. Sister Jewel, Caston Mendoza, great to have you here. Rianne, glad to have you here again. Good, good, great to have you here. Leslie Smith, oh, she's out in the audience tonight. Glad you decided to join us in the audience tonight. Who else? Y'all coming in good. Theodora, great to have you here. Theodora, oh man. Lorraine, nope. Okay, okay, help me out. Uh, Elizabeth, good to have you here. Kitty, great to have you here. Great to have you here. Oh, we got Doris Miles in here. Oh, she's out in the audience. Glad that you decided to tune in with us. Glad to have you. Kamitria Manning, good evening to you. Great, great, great. Let me see who else. And Teresa, always a pleasure to have you here. Wait, we got some more. Stephanie, good to have you here. Ooh, great to have you here. And Michelle Wallace Morris, great to have you here as well. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, y'all, let's get started though. Let's get started with this show tonight. Let's introduce our panelists for tonight. Starting on my left, we got from Beham Metro, Sister Leslie Ruth. Glad to have you here. From the ATL brother Tron Brothers, and he's gonna sing a solo for us at the end of the program. And we got from Birmingham Metro, we got DD Miles. Glad to have you here with us. Okay, great, great, great. Folks, y'all ready? Let's get started though. As you can tell by the topic, uh, pick me people. The pick me people. Now, some of y'all know what a pick me is, and some of y'all may not know. So, before we get started, I got our visuals. I got visuals though. First definition, and of course from our friends from Urban Dictionary. Pygmy, a person who begs for attention, acceptance, and approval of a certain group in different things they say. In most cases, to attain the attention, acceptance, and approval of the opposite sex. Someone who enjoys and finds empowerment in doing things that make their significant others happy. And then the second one we have the type of person who constantly begs for attention and approval and has to make everything about themselves, will do anything to get attention and approval, including bringing other people down.
Yeah.
And yeah, and here's one of the most common ones. right here, and we're gonna touch definitely on this part. A pick-me is a woman that is willing to do anything for male approval. She will embarrass or throw other women under the bus to achieve this goal. The unfortunate thing about a pick-me is usually the men they are trying to seek approval from are of poor quality and treat women badly,
Mm.
leaving little real benefit for the pick-me. So here we go, folks. And again, this topic, the first topic of the night, might be the only one who knows he is the pick me people. The pick me people. What say you, panelists? Leslie.
The, this is not Christian behavior.
Go ahead.
It is very sad for a woman because that last definition was the one, like you were saying, the one we see more of. The woman is willing to do anything for male approval. I mean, there are lots of women out there that are willing to just, flip the tables over and, do all they can to keep their man happy, thinking that keeping their man happy is all they're supposed to be focused on. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to keep your significant other happy, but there's a balance to all of this. And that if someone's treating you badly, you don't need to be thinking that your treating of them well is going to
Hmm.
decrease it or make the relationship better.
Hmm.
These are women we pray for. This is a messed up situation because the thing about it is not only that she's diminishing herself to make this man happy, is that she's diminishing people around her. She's mishandling her friendships, she's probably mishandling her family members, all to keep this man. And when this man walks away, you're gonna be there by yourself because you have dismissed everyone around you, all the people that love you and care for you. So this is a very sad individual. But there are people out there who will just do all they can because they think that man is the man for them. And I'm here to tell you, ladies, that no, that's not how it works. Relationships is give and take, and you have to be as happy as he is. He has to want to make you happy, and you have to want to make him happy. It has to be a give and take. It's not one sided. And if you're not happy, walk away. It's okay to not be happy, and it's okay to leave somebody because you're not happy.
Hmm. I hear you, sister. I hear you, sister. Bro Tron, what say you about these picnics? Have you
Mm,
encountered such an individual?
um,
Uh-oh.
I may have run across one or two. Um,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I've seen not recently, but in my past. I think that it boils down to what one of the attendees said. It's low self-esteem. You know, and I take that back. Some of it is low self-esteem, and some of it is they just have to have somebody because what offsets this little situation is when their friends are all booed up or they got a man or got a husband, then they feel left out of the circle and they're doing things as a couple. So they'll go pick anybody. Hey, pick me so they can be a part of that, those activities. So I'm not going to say every time it's low self-esteem. I'm going to say it's going to be sometimes it's just, jealously motivated by the fact that their friends have
Mm.
someone or they have married friends. But I haven't encountered it in probably the last 15, 20 years. But um, if I do encounter it, I definitely pray for the person.
Well, and that's a good point right there. They say, hey, my she has a man, so let me try to get a man, maybe a piece of a man, but hey, a
Mhm.
piece of a man is better than no man at all, though. So let me try to get this, though. I get what you're saying, though. And that makes a good point. It's a sad point, but it's true. It's unfortunate. Dee Dee, help me
Hey,
out.
well,
Hey.
um, my definition for a pick me is kind of inclusive. I look at it male versus female. The pick me woman is the woman in my mind that puts her body on display. And it's not so much to say choose me, but to seek attention. Not that she necessarily
Mm-hmm.
needs the man, so to speak, but she likes the attention that she gets. So
Mm-hmm.
versus the male who may be materialistic, saying, pick me because I make this kind of money, pick me because I hold this kind of job, pick me because I drive this kind of car, pick me because I live in this type of house. But the pick me people pay a cost eventually. The cost
Mm-hmm.
is that person with you because they think you have a brilliant mind. Is this person with you because of who you are and not what you're able to give to them? It goes a little deeper. So it to me to say pick me. I'm desperate, or pick me because my self esteem is low. That very well may be true. But if you find yourself saying pick me for those particular reasons, you're picking little, right? Because you're digging at the bar of the barrel, saying pick me because I have nothing else to shoot for.
You know what? We might have to end this show early tonight. Liz is some women are actually just a piece of a man. Okay, anyway, and wait a minute. And Elizabeth says, men does to pick me too. They want to lavish you with money and stuff, but it does not work like that for me. And does she does agree with what you're saying? Go ahead with and wait a minute. Because the other sisters were asking about if I can find it. Yes, Kitty says. So a guy can't be a pick me person? Mm. Teresa says, why can't a man be a pick me? Well, sisters, y'all ask some good questions though. Because guess what? Guys can be a pick me. Guys can be. And I think it may vary amongst the guys. Like there's an example that Doris just told us so eloquently about that. You want to lavish with money, material things, pick me. I got this car. I got this money. I got this membership. Pick me. But there's another kind of pick me guy. There's another kind of pick me guy that y'all may have encountered though. And they kind of a little different than from a pick me woman though. But y'all tell me y'all thoughts about this. Take a look at
I'm
this.
so ugly. You are. Must be why every girl rejects me. That is exactly why. Probably why girls that like keep playing me. I would play you too. Would you date me? Hell no. All girls are the same.
Now, yes, some of them try to do that. I guess reverse psychology. I guess to say that if that's a proper term though. So let's go back to our information source at Urban Dictionary. Pick me guy. A guy that talks bad about himself to get compliments from others. Parentheses, mostly from people he is interested in. Example sentence. The pick me guy, I am so ugly and stupid. Why would anyone hang out with me? I don't deserve you. The person, don't say that. You're handsome and really smart, and I love hanging out with you. The real person, you're right. You're ugly, dumb, and don't deserve me. So, yeah, people can be cruel that way, though. So, how many of y'all have encountered that panelist? That person that tried to kind of, I guess the best way I can say it is play with your mind to get you to be sympathetic toward them, to say, oh, I'm just so, I'm just so fat. I'm just, nobody wants me. And you kind of fishing for compliments, or better yet, dry begging for compliments. How many of y'all have ever accomplished, encountered that? Panelists and studio audience.
I mean, I have, but y'all, Mike know me. I don't last long with a lot of this stuff. And so, because my thing is that I think when you realize we all have our own mental health issues and we're all trying to keep ourselves above water, above sun level of just keeping ourselves going every day, regardless of what's going on in your life. And to have someone who basically is just pulling from you in that way. I can understand we have moments where we have some insecure moments, or we have some doubtful moments, or some fearful moments where I just don't feel, as people, I just don't feel cute today. I don't feel pretty today. I just don't feel, man, I really messed up. Am I really as smart as I think I am? And we have those moments. But then when you have someone who's continually like that all the time, and they can either, like you said, one, manipulating you to get compliments, to feed on them, or are you really in this state of mind where you really don't have anything, you really can't see anything positive about your life, about who you are as an individual? And so once I figure out which one it is, I don't like either one. So I don't stick around with too long because one, I don't stick around as someone who is pursuing a relationship. But because I'm also a minister and a person who loves to encourage and support people, I'm going to now transfer you over to this other zone that we talk about and be from a distance a friend of support and an encouragement and all that you may need in those times when you need it, and not be this constant person that you need to be, that need to feed this part of you every day or it just all the time, because that's exhausting. That's extremely exhausting. And and especially when you're trying to keep your own self motivated, and now you're trying to motivate someone else, and especially if I don't see it coming back toward me. Like, you want me to motivate, but what are you feeding me? So now I'm empty. You're emptying me. This is not a good relationship. This is not a good place to be, because now you're draining me. And as a person who's always giving, because you're a minister, you're always giving of yourself. I need folks around me that's going to help me fill up. I'm filling them up, y'all filling me up, but we doing this for each other. Even if we have bad days, we're still feeding. But there's also times where some of that feeding is gonna be more than the other, because we all gonna have some bad days. But when someone's always pulling and pulling and taking, you got to go. We're gonna put you over here in the mental health line, in that zone, the friend zone, and the mental health zone, to be that the person you periodically check on, to see if they are right.
But then even with that though, that's a lot of pressure right there to see if they all right though. That can
No,
still that few minutes to say, hey, I just called to check up on you. But guess what? The floodgates about to open up though. Well, you know what though? These Martians landed in my backyard though, and they took everything I got, and they made me come along with. I mean, just something out there. They just flood you. They just bombard
Oh,
you.
those are folks you don't check on. They crazy.
Leslie says she gonna put them on the ego stroke committee. She gonna place them in the ego stroke ministry.
Those you gotta cut ties from. You if they crazy, what you say, Martians? What you say? Did you say Martians?
I would just use that for an example. Just using that for an example.
If you crazy, we just gonna remove ourselves from you. You're gonna be on the block list.
What you say? I'm glad you have identified yourself.
Exactly. No. But people have, I have encountered people who are just going through just some dark places. And unless God, I'm gonna put it like this. Unless God has purposed me to be in that space to help that person. And this is God. This is God now. So you gotta be careful. Because people will pull you into their darkness and swallow you and bring you down. And next, you'll be like, how did I get here? Okay. Because we all have a bit of darkness in us, that some temptations in us that's eating at us and pulling at us, and you encounter the wrong person, you will end up in a space that you like, hold up, how did I get here? And how am I here in this dirt, in this mud with them? Okay, so you have to, as Christians, we have to be careful who we fellowship with, because darkness attaches to darkness, and we all have a little bit in us. So you have to protect yourself. So yeah, unless God has called me, because He said I've lifted you up to a point where you can help those who are down, and they won't, and you won't be hindered, and you won't be oppressed, and you won't be in danger as you help this person along their way. And
Mm,
that takes
mm-hmm.
intentional, like, counseling and being a caregiver and all that stuff that goes with that. And that's a lot of prayer on your side. But this is not a relationship now. This is not relationship.
Mm-hmm.
This is you helping this person
Mm-hmm.
come up. That maybe it's years down the line, as this person rises up and they got find their way and they can find their light, you may come back together. But in that mess, like, no, that's not a healthy relationship at all. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. And uh, Troy, you about to say something?
Yeah.
No.
Now I'll
Okay.
wait for you, Mike.
Okay. Go ahead. Oh
You,
no, you
you,
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
you saw that video I posted the other day when I was at that homeless shelter? I
You know
think you
what? I
liked it.
honestly, I would.
You liked it. You read it. Yeah.
Oh, no, what? Yeah, know what? Yes, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did.
So
Yes.
I was one of those people. You know what I mean? And I take
Mm,
a different spin on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm diagnosed with PTSD. So a lot back then, now I'm good, but back then sometimes it's hard to see your way out. You know what I mean? And like Kenya said, not everybody your assignment. I wasn't everybody's assignment. You see what I mean? And you got
mm,
to be careful when you approach people in that situation when they're feeling that way about themselves, because God may be humbling them.
mm-hmm,
That was part of my testimony. What I was telling on the video, that
mm,
I had to take that walk. You see what I'm saying? And if anybody tried to get
mm-hmm,
in the way, I would have never got the blessing or the lesson out of it. So sometimes you
mm-hmm,
got to let people take that walk, whether it's a mental health issue or a self-esteem
mm,
issue. You just got to, you got to let that happen. And thank God, I walked through
mm.
that, and now I'm selective
Yes,
about who I help too. You know what
yes.
I'm saying? Because I know what it's gonna be. So they'll drain you out. There's a saying that
Whew.
givers got to have limits because the takers don't. So I respect that. But yeah, sometimes you can be in a bad place and just that's God
Mm,
showing you something.
and it made me think. What you just said made me think about what Leslie said. Hey, I'm giving all this to you. I'm giving you my energy to bring you through. Well, okay then. Where's the energy from you to bring me through? You know, I can't help you. And like Keena says, hey, everyone is not your assignment. So we got to be careful though. We can't save everybody, I don't think. You know, especially when we got work that need to be done to our own selves though. So yeah, that's real tough right there. How am I help someone and I'm dealing? So, blind leading the blind, I suppose. Okay. Angela Madison says this: some people are self defeating. Why point out everything that's wrong with you and then expect someone else to want you or constantly rebuild you? And then that's half the battle lost right there.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman comes to me saying, I'm just this, I'm just that. Okay, then you this and that. I see you later. I mean, what more can you do though? Either they actually have a serious mental and emotional issue going on, or it's just ego. They just fishing, dry begging for attention. Six in one hand, half a dozen in the other. You might as well just say, hey, you say that you this, you say you're ugly, fine, okay. I talk to you later, and then they'll get mad because you didn't say. Well, you ain't had to agree so quick. I mean, they'll get mad, but you just sat up here and said you're ugly. You know, you want me to give you a mirror or something? I mean, you just said you just called yourself. Okay, let me move on though. Y'all think it's funny, but we got some good ones. We got some good ones right here. I know what Keena talking about right here. Like, I'm not gonna date someone in prison. We can be brothers and sisters in Christ. We must practice relational intelligence. Jesus had levels. Keena, please be at the after party tonight. I'm asking you, please, please. Theodore said, "That's awesome, Troy. You can only keep what you have by giving it away." Mm. That's a word right there. I get Marcus. Bro, Marcus, I am that person. I have discussed my mental health and get indirect responses before. Childhood trauma emotionally does make any person's self esteem be difficult to manage. Sometimes. Brother Reginald, always pray and ask God for discernment, especially when dealing with folks in general. There are a lot of folks out there that are dealing with all sorts of issues, some of which you are not prepared to deal with. Let me read that part again. Some of which, maybe most of which, you are not prepared to deal with. And let me see, is there anyone else there? Oh, I knew she was gonna say somebody was gonna say that. This ain't Build a Bear. Okay. It's it ain't Build a Bear. Let me see. Not everyone. Let me see. And I'll just say this, and we'll move on to the next one. Those are the people you text only. So there's it right there.
She right. That's how you do that. Well, you check up on them via the text. You know, you
Uh-huh.
don't get on the phone with them and they start talking about the Martians. Like,
Before we move on, and I guess it ties into the next topic, but before we move on, folks, please like, please subscribe, and please share. You'll be glad you did. Okay. The next topic is, and I think it has kind of a good segue, is dating after trauma.
Mhm.
You know, basically, maybe we might be talking about our own trauma, but we mostly talking about how do you date a person who has dealt with dating trauma, who has dealt with being hurt, legitimately hurt, not being an attention seeker, but dealt with things like shucks, abuse, infidelity, uh, being finagle out of money, whatever. How do you deal with that? And I found this nice video from this gentleman, and I feel bad I didn't get his name. I have to look him up so I could give him credit, though. He kind of goes over a little, I guess, steps. And y'all tell me what y'all think, panelists in the studio audience.
When someone has went through a trauma bond or dealt with a narcissist, maybe even toxicity, PTSD, a lot of people don't realize that a calm body equals a calm mind. It's imperative to make sure that you are being handled with somebody that's not going to just verbally tell you things, because you've been told things in your past that weren't true. You've been told, I'm not going to hurt you, I'd never hurt you, and that person still ends up hurting you. And vice versa goes for the person that might be dating somebody that's went through those matters or those issues. Don't tell them that you're safe, show them that you're safe. Keep their body calm to keep their mind calm. If they're suffering, if they're struggling, grab their hand gently, pull them close, hold them. Don't hold them too tight, but just gently hold them, assure them that they're in a safe place. Because if they're reassured that their body is safe, hey, you're safe, you're secure, their mind is going to feel safe and secure. If you're sitting in a restaurant and an argument ensues, grab their hand, pull their hand closer to you, ensure them. Calm body equals a calm mind.
Mm. What say y'all?
My
That was
advice
up.
would
Mm-hmm.
be to take things slow.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
it's a one step at a time process. To understand where a person has been, where they are presently, and where they're trying to go is everything. Um, it's about really it's about understanding. I feel,
Mm-hmm.
um, and not being a rush to do a thing.
Okay. Uh, Kitty says yes and no. That really depends on the person and what they've gone through. Not everyone is going to be not going to like that type of touch. Do y'all agree or disagree?
I agree. I agree.
Oh,
and so often people don't know what they need when they've gone
mm,
through trauma. And
Mm.
so,
Mhm.
when you encounter someone who's gone through any type of trauma, um, you don't know how. I mean, for me, I understand that just from taking classes on counseling and all these things, and just realizing that you have to pay attention to people when you hear that they've had a hurt, a past
Mhm.
hurt. We always ask people,
Mhm.
what happened in your last relationship, or why did your marriage end, or why this or why that. And you can hear pain in people's voice and how they talk
Mhm.
about the
Mhm.
situation. And it's
Mhm.
up to us as just human beings, okay, to
Mhm.
listen, to really listen to people, and actively listen. I mean, in other words, don't hear what they say and start talking about what they're saying. Really listen and let them speak, because sometimes you'll hear the pain in their voice, you'll hear the pain in their heart, and how they're talking about what happened to them, and you'll know if you're even able to get close to that person, as you are trying to, as you're both, if you're trying to date, you'll know that, okay, this person needs time, because they're still talking about this situation from a place of deep pain. And until that person can come away from that and start healing from that place, they're not going to be ready for more like what you're wanting to have with them. So just
Mhm.
listen to people. And so often, and realize, like we said earlier, it is not always your assignment to be there to help them heal. Because women, we know we've helped a lot of men heal, and then they're gone and they're healing to someone else.
Mhm.
Trying is the truth. I know you Googling over there. It happens because we're nurturers, we're caregivers. We want to love on people. We want to be able to take care of people, and that's just sometimes it's a lot. I'm not saying most all women, because some women are not like that, but sometimes we get like that. We want to make sure, are you okay? What can I do to help? What can I do? You want to talk? And we're there to listen and to be there and console in all kinds of ways, not just sitting there patting them on the back. We consoling and consoling until they
Mhm.
heal out of their brokenness, and then when they're in back into this complete light, they move on somewhere else. And we don't want, and sometimes you have to protect yourself in that space when you realize that they're hurt. And sometimes hurt people, so you need to be careful of that.
Mhm.
You need to be careful, like, okay,
Mhm.
they're hurt but they're healing, and so I need to make sure that they're ready for what they say they're ready for. Because you could say, "Oh, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready for this
Mhm.
relationship. I'm ready to encounter someone new." But if you're still speaking from pain, you're not ready. And I need to hear that.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
I need to be able to be careful with you, because I don't want to be the second person to hurt you or the third person to hurt you.
Mm.
Okay? But because look, I always say you reap what you sow now. Because you hear stuff, you know stuff, and then you want to sit there and take advantage. Oh, he hurt and he's feeling bad. I can sit here and ride this out and get him, whatever. There's people who do that too.
Mhm. Mhm.
But if you are, that's why I say humans, good people. Just make sure you're listening, and you're being very just listening to what people say, because if they're a good person, they're going to appreciate you being whoever you are in their life, and not taking advantage of them being in that hurtful space, and you will be all the better, if you have to walk away peacefully.
Peace, peacefully, peacefully. Let me read this what Tia says. I think peaceful space is always a safe go-to, and I agree with the gentleman. Action speaks louder than words. Back up what you say with congruent actions. If the traumatized person isn't ready, then you at least lead them the same or better.
Hmm.
And let me see this, but let me read this what Kitty says. Like if we are arguing and he reaches across to grab my hand, I'm gonna tell him get off me. Okay. And I'm gonna read this what Jules says. There are men that don't want that. So their healing is specifically tailored to the individual.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay. Let me read this. Oh, Jules says, I need words of affirmation. That may not that may not be what you need, You might need physical touch. You
Mhm.
both need to heal. Mm,
Mhm.
mm, mm.
Because one thing I learned in grief that people grieve differently,
Mm-hmm.
and so often we
Yes,
want to put people in
definitely.
these stages, and I'm like, throw the stages away. These whole stages of grief,
Mm,
because everyone you grieve each loss. And when I say
mm,
loss is not just death. Loss is the ended marriage. Loss is being a kid who grew up in a certain area of town or a certain state, and now you gotta move and lose all of your friends and go somewhere to another state. That's any type of
mm,
life change that requires something that you had to no longer be there anymore. That's loss. And so you deal with those things differently. And so even with relationships, losing a mother and a father, those are two separate people, two separate relationships. That's you feel that differently. And then a sister or a brother or a husband or a boyfriend, all these are different relationships. You grieve those things differently. And so people try to put everything in a box. I got offended when people sit there and tell me that well, I understand what you're dealing with, and I'm like, well, what you mean you understand what I've dealt with? You lost your
mm,
mom?
mm,
No, I ain't lose my mom, but I understand that
mm,
my
mm,
grandma. I'm like, well, that's your mom ain't my grandma. My grandma ain't. You know what I'm saying? So
mm,
you have to.
mm,
So this is any type of loss, any type of trauma. You're right. It's in this individual, and people need to know. You need to ask for people what they need instead of telling them what to do. You know what I'm saying? Because
mm,
people can verbalize what they need, even if they don't know. I just don't know. I said, well, you know what? I know you. Okay, you don't know, but I'm gonna come back and ask you again, just in case, because it's gonna take time for you to figure out what you need.
mm,
Be that
mm.
person.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Let me see. Kitty says absolutely. It is definitely individual. Theodora says there are so many aspects and layers to trauma.
Mm-hmm.
People walk around every day who don't even realize some of their experiences could be classified as traumatic experience. Sometimes it doesn't come to surface until that person is triggered. Then there's a situation.
Right.
Tron, help me.
You know, um, I dabbled in the little mental health field before, and what they
Hmm.
taught us was, for one, I don't play with grenades. You know what I mean? And that's the saying that we got in the military. I don't play with grenades. You know what I'm saying? Something that could go off anytime. I don't play with that. But
Hmm.
because I dabbled in the mental health field for a little while, um,
Hmm.
let's suppose you do. You got to be careful when you open people up. We call it open people up. When you open them up,
Mm.
or do you have the ability to close them back up? And I'll be the first to tell you, a lot of people don't know what they need. I didn't know what I needed when I was going through situations. Some of my clients didn't know what they needed. I thought
Mm-hmm.
on the surface, you think you know what you need. I'm broke. I need money. But that's not really what you need to pacify. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Some people are like, well, I need drugs. Well, no, you don't need drugs, but that's your pacifier. That's how you cope, your coping mechanism. So
Mm-hmm.
we got to be careful when we play with people's minds and the trauma, because you never know what you're opening up. And then if you're not careful, you'll get drawn into it. I had a client, and I started noticing
Mm.
the change in my own behavior, and I'm like, where did this come from?
Mm.
Oh, then I had to relate the two. I'm like, he's got to stop being my client because he's pulling me into his little web. So you got to
Mm-hmm.
be careful when you're dealing with people's trauma and mind. If you can't help, get out of the way. You can't help, get out of the way.
Mm.
Prayer is always one of the best things you could do for people, and know your limitations of when you open and playing with people's minds and their trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
You can pray from afar.
Doris? Oh,
Absolutely.
yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Real far.
Yes, you can. Way far, like another state. Yeah, you can pray from afar, though. Uh, Doris, you had anything to add to this?
I am in total agreement.
Okay, okay. We're gonna move on this. We're gonna kind of before we move on, though. You know the drill, y'all. Please make sure you like, you subscribe, and please, please, please share. Okay. Next, and I mean, I have no visuals for this. This is a general conversation, and here it go right here. The expense of dating. The expense of dating. Yeah, I know. Tron, I know. That's all you I know.
He pulled out his budget. He pulled
Okay.
out the calculator. And he ain't calculating tips.
I know. Folks, I'm gonna just say this, and we got two sisters and two brothers on here. And from a male point of view, dating is expensive. I was gonna just say it like that. It's an investment, and and I don't mind because I had some good dates, great, fantastic dates. One year, I went to see the photograph. Hey, one of the best, absolute best dates I ever had. Fantastic. I mean, had great dates. You have fantastic times, but guess what? It ain't free. You know, yeah, it's not free. You know, but that's the cost, especially as a man, as men, that we have to factor into in a relationship, into dating. You know, can I afford to date? Can I afford to keep this going? You know, what will happen if I don't keep this going? What happened? What happens, sisters, if he's not able to keep it going? And I know some of you sisters can pay for a date yourselves. I definitely, sure of that though. But what say y'all? What say y'all? And y'all too in the studio audience as well. Go ahead. Uh, uh, don't be shy, y'all. Y'all been talking all night when we
Oh,
talking about money.
Tina, I agree because it's some pre-budgetary items that we allocate prior to the date. If we are a female and we want to present our best self, sometimes we got time for it, sometimes we don't. But usually, if we are truly on that and trying to present our best self, or even upkeep what we're already doing, we're already maintaining what we're already doing. So we as women are
Yeah.
getting hair done. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that my edges are clean, okay, and how they supposed to be. We're gonna make sure our makeup, and we go to the MAC store and get us some more lipstick and some lip gloss or whatever. We'll get the hands done, the manicure and the pedicure, and make sure we all cute from head to toe. We may go to get us a new little dress. We want to impress him a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and show a little shimmy
Mm-hmm.
shimmy or whatever. And so we're
Oh,
going to do some pre-expenses that were allocated
yeah, that's true.
prior
Mm.
to the date. That can
Uh-oh.
be but he know who you are and what type of shopping that you need to do. That could be $50. Well, no, the pedicure, manicure is already $50. So this could be a $100 outfit to the 50. This could be $200 to $500, and we ain't even seen you yet. We ain't even we. It's not even the day of the date yet, and we already spent money and got ourselves gussied up like a grandmama gussied up, okay, to encounter this individual, and we ain't even there yet. So then you get there, and you're like, oh, hold up, now I spent $200-$300 to get here, and you want me to spend $200-$300 while I'm here as well? Now mind you, the man may have done the same thing. He may have gone and had his manicure, pedicure as well. He may have got that fresh cut, shave, all that stuff in neat and in place. May have got some new cologne. Little Mr. Issey Miyake just passed away. May he rest in peace. So then we got some new cologne, new shirt. We don't know. He could spend his $200-$300 too. So it's a lot. It's a lot to even just get to the date. So who should pay? I don't know.
Come on, Mr. Trump. What say you?
He's already paid. We better go walk around the park.
Mr. Trump.
Trump, where you calculate it? How much you got on it? See, you ain't even gone on the date yet. And you ain't even gone on the date.
I live in Atlanta, so I'm gonna give y'all the low end of dating. Okay,
Okay.
costs anywhere from $600 to $800. It don't got nothing to do with nails. It don't got nothing to do. This is These women down here want to go to all these places, right? I just had this conversation today, so that's why I was so fresh.
Mm.
So on average, you're gonna spend $200. That's the low end a weekend, and she gonna want you to take it out every weekend. So now you're talking $800. You better have $800 at a minimum to date around here, because you got to pay for her, you got to pay for you, and that's $100. That's a cheap date around here. That's 50 for her, 50 for me. That's a cheap date. You do that 2 nights on the weekends. That's $200 a weekend. Now, my question is, Mike, you should have never asked this question. I'm trying to understand the validation of if because the guys is right. The theme is I want to get to know you, right? That's why we dating, right? I want to get to know you. Why do we have to go out and eat and drink? Why is that the routine of what's happen? You know what I mean? I like Top Golf. Why we can't go to Top Golf? Why we can't go walk in the park somewhere? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't take them out because everybody, you know. And the reality to it is, most of the time we're gonna try to get something to eat with you anyway. But when it's the theme of the, you know what I mean? It's crazy. So I just had this discussion today, but seriously, in Atlanta on the low end, this is the EBT card budget right here, $800. That's for real.
That's a lot of EBT right there. 800. Eating better to yeah.
You eating good for $800 on the EBT.
Yeah.
Hey,
Gosh. Tax free? Yes. Yes.
And I don't disagree, Tron. I don't think there is nothing wrong with going to Top Golf unless you golf like me and won't get past the first hole. That's me though.
But you can learn while you're there. You can learn while you're there.
And walking through the park, there's nothing wrong with that. But to me, the most expensive thing about dating is time. If it's wasted, you cannot get that thing back. Time is priceless. So you have to be careful what you're investing your money in, right? Because we don't have time to waste. Right. We don't. But I feel you on that $800 budget
on the low end.
On the low.
Let's be real. How much you really gonna learn about a person when you're in a restaurant? It's loud. You're trying to enjoy your meal. What you gonna learn again?
What we like to eat? What we got in common?
It's the worst thing to be sitting there across to somebody, eating and drinking, and there's no conversation.
That is.
It's like, okay, now what's on your mind? Then. So you came out to talk about nothing? Like, really? No.
But in my mind, you would develop that conversation, a conversation long before getting to that.
Yes.
Sometimes nerves get involved.
Oh.
You know, you meet somebody, you done talked. Y'all had great conversation on the phone and text and all that. Then you get in person and you get nervous. You know.
That's where that cocktail come into play. You need to see that, Tron. That's where that drink coming.
Them $10 drinks. That I'm like, hold up now. I got vodka at the house. Exactly. Now you want me to sit here and got Tito's vodka and cranberry juice in my refrigerator, but you want me to pay $9 here for something that I have in my refrigerator? I can make 10 vodka and cranberry juices at home. I got $100 worth of liquor.
And Mike, we still come up short. We still come up short, Mike. You know why we come up short?
Because you got a tip.
One meal, we ordering another, and then they hit that fork like this. Let me chase that right there, and then you come up short, man.
You missing out on part of your meal.
Listen. There's nothing wrong with sharing.
There's something wrong with sharing. Unless we say something at the beginning, I'm like, okay, you know, well, you like that, I like this. Let's share. You don't know how hungry I am.
See, that's your fault. You don't know how to share.
Trying you only share.
No, I share, but I mean, all women. Let me taste that. And that fork come across Now you don't pay $50 for your meal and you only ate $20 worth of it. You know what I'm saying?
Troy said he don't appreciate you reaching your hand over his.
I remember the last first date I was on. Good time. Yeah, and like Dee Dee said, we talked long before, that first date. And conversations were good. The food was good. We would sit up there talking about life at the first date. And she would just reached over to my plate, got one of them good onion rings, and just eating it like this is a normal occurrence. Don't laugh. This is a normal occurrence, though. And she gonna beat my behind when she watch this, though. But this ain't this like a normal occurrence. And I mean, I was thinking it was so cute, but then, dang, that's one less onion ring I get to take home, though. So
That's so sweet, Mike. That's so sweet.
So the moral of this story is, fellas, before y'all go to dinner on your first date, please make the rule that do not reach over into my plate unless you pay it for it.
Now, for me, I'm just only speaking for me. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me.
It don't bother me.
And you gonna have something like you got a little funky $5 for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though.
Hey, Mike, then they go, I'm gonna need a to-go box. I bet you are. You ate my food because you was full.
Oh, goodness is hard.
So disrespectful. So disrespectful.
I'm just looking for the lies.
It's a shame. Can't reach over and fold.
But it really doesn't bother me. But Troy, you spoke a word right there. If we have a to-go box, what you mean we? You don't. I ate mine up. You get.
She done ate half of yours.
Yeah. Take on.
That's a trick. That's a trick. Look, we got dinner and lunch. You had to pay for either one of them.
That's a win. That's a win.
The budget changed. The budget changes. It's no longer $800 no more. Because after the date, I got to stop by Taco Bell before I get home.
$810.
$810.
And man, that Taco Bell give you bad dreams, and you gonna be willing with that.
I know. Bad dreams.
And some other issues.
That's what I'm about to say. I was trying to not say that, but yeah.
You keep on paying. I'll keep paying.
You paying for it, yeah.
Because I have bad dreams when I eat Taco Bell. Ooh, I had some crazy dreams, y'all.
You pay for it now, you pay for it later. Okay. Y'all.
One is traumatized. Try, there's a places you could probably eat with less than $800. There's a place you can eat.
You gotta average it per weekend. It's 50.
Why y'all going out every weekend? This
is Atlanta. These women don't use 4-letter words like cook, wash, fold. None of that. They don't use none of that. They don't use 4-letter words down here.
I know plenty of women that live in Atlanta that know how to cook.
I didn't say they don't know how to cook. I said they don't cook.
That's the other 4-letter word.
They do cook. I know a lot that do cook. I'm about to find somebody for you. I got plenty of single friends, and
I ain't got no more $800.
I'm trying to help the brother. One of them was watching early. Let me see if it's still on the line. Hold on, let's see.
Oh my God. Like your show just went off the rail.
Hello. Girl, if you still in the group,
she's
watching.
You see what she's
watching?
Oh my God.
Watching. There's one. Okay, let me see if she watching. I'll find out she watching because there was one in the group. Beautiful young lady. Yes. How old are you, trying? I'm gonna fix you up with something. I got plenty of friends.
How old I look? 30 what?
I don't know. I look black don't crack, so I don't know.
Yeah, I look 30 what?
No. You look 34, 35.
I'm 45. So, you know.
Okay, they in that range. We're gonna fix Tron up, man. We're gonna find him something.
I think Tron need to shoot his shot. He needs somebody that know how to cook for real.
Look, and these women who can cook.
Mike, I gotta explain this. See, you shouldn't have, because I'm in the bad bracket. I'm in a bad bracket. The bracket from 40 to 50 something, like mid 50s. That's a bad bracket. Here's the reason why it's a bad bracket. I done studied this thing. Trust me. Most women, especially in our culture, became mothers or wives between the age of 16 to 25, right? Which means they gave up their youth to become mothers or wives, right? Well, at about 45, that's when they become empty nesters. And what they say is it's finally time to do me. And guess what? They hit these streets and they gone. I done been cooking 20 years. I ain't cooking no more. I done took care of people for 20 years. I ain't doing this no more. And so they gone at 45. You ain't going to catch them. They gone.
I bet you will. I bet you will. If you find the right one, she will. Why she won't stop for you?
I know. I'm sitting here thinking of 4
Mike, am I lying?
right now. I can think of 4 women right now that are single in Atlanta who cook, who would want to cook and be that chick. You just gotta tell me what it.
She will be everything you need, and then some, Tron. It's all about what
you just gotta tell me what it likes, so I can eliminate it.
Put that calculator down, boy.
Turbo bell and gas. Is that the X-Lax and the giddy powder you want to drink get on the way home? Cause you don't need a goody powder on there after that Taco Bell.
He'll do better than going home making a ham sandwich.
Right?
Y'all wait till it's after party. What did I show up with?
So I'm for real, Sean. I'm real.
Yep.
I can think of 4, really 5, but I'm not sure. The 5th one, I'm not sure about, but I definitely can think of 4.
Mm-mm.
6. Hold up. You still want to have children?
No.
No, because we know there are men in their 40s who do still want to have children.
No.
So no. Okay.
I don't drink, so I don't drink. Nope.
I don't know about that. That means
I can't get that tipsy. No, I can't do.
All right, let me go down to 2.
Mike, it's after party time, ain't it, Mike?
We trying to help people get their shot shoot.
Help you catch your blessing.
I got trauma.
I'm over here.
Now you want to play the PTSD card.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help somebody else find theirs in the next. Okay, somebody gonna get blessed. Too many single friends who have never been married, who would love a good, solid Christian man. I'm telling you now. They're not, and only a couple of them are in this group. It's another one. Hold on. Oh, she's a lawyer.
Why you thinking? Wait. Why you doing this? I gotta read these comments, y'all. Let me
pull out my sticky notes so I can make a list.
Theodora said, Tron, I have 2 single nieces down there. One is 51, the other is 53. Well, look at here.
See, that's
too much.
That's two.
You look at
Hey, look. Hey, let me tell you like this. You can't be like that unless you just don't want nobody no more. You don't.
The older they go.
Stop putting these women in the box. They may just want the cook.
I need a cage. I need more room. A box won't hold them. I need a cage.
Listen. Kimberly says, we'll send Tron 3 and we expect an update next week. Uh-oh. That's what she said.
But he said
Angela Madison. Tron, someone in these comments is trying to holler at you. You need to read. They are your age. I think they live near you. Man, read. Catch them in the after party.
See?
See, Troy, see.
Don't be blocking. Don't be blocking your blessings, Pastor. Blocking your blessing. How you gonna preach to the congregation about speak and you will find, and you out there won't even look, open your eyes and look.
He out there ducking and hiding.
Ducking and diving. The Lord trying to throw him a blessing, and he over here ducking and diving. Really? Really trying? The Lord trying to bless you.
This is the best show ever. We're sorry. Back to you, Captain.
My goodness, the music's supposed to be playing or something.
We ain't got there yet.
Okay. Wait a minute. I forgot what I'm doing, y'all. It's just that bad. Wait. I gotta read this one. I picked up on a conversation last week in the after party. Don't make me call out the names.
Uh-oh. My.
Wait
I like
a minute.
it.
You gonna look okay? Man, we don't need no music. We don't need no music. Uh-oh. And Troy, this okay. She's out there. Okay. Folks, guess what? Guess what? For the sake of everybody, we are out of time. We are out of time. We so out of time, it ain't funny. We are out of time.
We don't have another.
Please.
I thought we had another question.
Coming up next at 1/2
we ain't ready.
We're gonna have the after party. We're gonna continue this conversation in the after party. Hopefully the police won't have to come in this time. Please make sure you show up. The link is gonna show up in the groups at 1/2. If you're not in the groups, make sure you join it, because that's the only way you'll get there. And then Saturday, it goes from bad to worse. The Saturday night social. We talked. Now I ain't gonna tell you what we talked about last week,
Please
but
come out at night.
Hush. Anyway, please come. Please, just you're gonna enjoy yourself. And then next Tuesday, yep, I was deciding on whether on Tuesday Talk or this. So I think it's gonna be Shoot Your Shot though.
Featuring Trump.
No.
So hey, shoot your shot. So make sure somebody here call your kin folks. Tell them to watch. Tell them to do something. Tell them to bring some libation. Folks, that's it, y'all. That's it. This show can't end fast enough. Thank you all so much. Thank y'all, studio audience. Thank y'all, everybody. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Tron. I'll be praying for you. And thank you. And thank you.
What's wrong with you, Mike? Why are you stuttering?
And thank you.
I think we just got fired.
Thank you, DD. Thank you, D. And we might have to get some more folks next week. So anyway, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all.
Anyway, I'm off.
On that note, y'all. See y'all later, okay? Take care.